Right, welcome ladies and gentlemen. The Friday the 13th prequel series is officially moving ahead. Now this had a bit of a setback. Brian Fuller parted ways. But it was said to still be happening, but there was nothing going on, and it was all a bit all over the place, to be honest. I mean, this is still a good get. Nowhere near as good as Brian Fuller, and Brian Fuller reportedly did leave due to sort of creative differences. So it'll be interesting to see what happens from here. But A24 did seem hell-bent on making this. That's right, yeah, it's from A24. Although it will be over on Peacock. But it is from A24. So it definitely has a pedigree behind it, which could be really, really good. And from what I know, A24 hasn't really branched into TV. This will be one of their first things. It's pretty massive, quite frankly. So let's take a look. This is a report over on Deadline. Crystal Lake. Brad Caleb Kane set as new showrunner for Peacock's Friday the 13th prequel series from A24. Now, who is Brad Caleb Kane? Well, he seems to be a bit of a rising star, I guess, in the world of horror. What has he done recently? It. Welcome to Derry. That new series. So, he seems to be someone essentially in pretty high demand, or will be. Now, this is not like it's not unusual within Hollywood. A lot of Hollywood does this, so they find someone that's up and coming, and normally loads of studios just nab the same individual. They do it with actors. That's why you go through a period where, for at least like a year, 2 years, you'll always get movies with the exact same actor in basically everything. They just want to seal in and lock in contracts with what they think is the rising star, like the next thing. And they do that all the way across the board, including showrunners and directors and writers and things like that, as well as all actors, obviously. So, it's a pretty recent drop, by the way. But it says Crystal Lake, Peacock's upcoming Friday the 13th prequel. So it is literally just Crystal Lake. Upcoming Friday the 13th prequel series from Studio A24 has found its new showrunner. And that is Brad Caleb Kane, who did Welcome to Derry. A Deadline has learned. I don't know if this is an exclusive. They're not labeling an exclusive, which is interesting. So in addition to showrunning, Kane will serve as the series creator, writer, and executive producer. Now, this is a good thing. Whether he's good or not remains to be seen. But how they're doing it is actually a really good thing. So like Brian Fuller, for instance. Brian Fuller was that as well. He's since left. Creative differences, whatever. This guy's on board now. He is all of the same things. So creator, writer, executive producer, showrunner, blah, blah, blah. All of it. Which is a really good thing. Really, really good thing. Because it means that there's like one singular vision. And it also means that, I guess the sort of Brian Fuller, creative differences line was potentially true. It just didn't gel into what they kind of wanted it to be. He's good. Brian Fuller's good. But this is a good idea moving forwards to have it in exactly the same kind of format. Brian Fuller obviously confirmed his exit from the project in May, noting that A24 has elected to go a different way with the material. Which, we all hate creative differences. We all think it's pretty lame. It's a really easy excuse to do away with people. But this kind of sounds like it's like a legit creative differences, to be honest. But anyway, there you go. So first announced in October of 2022, Crystal Lake's plot specifics are being kept under wraps. In addition to Kane, executive producers on the series include A24, Victor Miller, who wrote the screenplay for the franchise's original 1980 film, Miller's copyright attorney Mark Toberoff, Robert M. Barsamian, and Robert P. Barsamian. The project will mark A24's first major IP-driven project amid a recent effort to expand in a more commercial direction. So we had this. From the moment I watched Jason Voorhees squeeze a guy's eyeball out of its socket at the tender age of 8 years old, I knew my creative path was someday destined to converge with the man behind the mask, said Kane in a statement on his Crystal Lake hiring. Nothing defined my childhood more than growing up in the golden age of the slasher flick, and nothing's defined the genre more than Friday the 13th. I couldn't be more excited for the opportunity to contribute a chapter to this iconic franchise, particularly with such fearless partners as Peacock and A24. That's not bad, you know. That's a pretty good statement, all things considered. Comprising 12 slashers, first for Paramount, then for New Line, Friday the 13th franchise is one of the most iconic and enduring horror series in film history. It's gone on a bit too long, though, I'm not going to lie. Directed by Sean S. Cunningham, the original film introduced audiences to the scenic Camp Crystal Lake, where a young camper named Jason Voorhees has not long ago tragically drowned due to a counsellor negligence. Seeking revenge for the death is his mother, Pamela, who processes her grief by brutally murdering a band of camp counsellors. That's Friday the 13th for you. And then in subsequent installments, Jason himself emerges, obviously. So there you go. Not the first TV series to expand on the franchise. Crystal Lake follows Friday the 13th, the series, which aired for 3 seasons in syndication from 87 to 90. It will, however, be the first project affiliated with Friday the 13th to emerge since a 2009 reboot of the original film from New Line. To date, the film's impact on pop culture has been felt through the proliferation of novels, comic books, video games, and merchandise pegged to the franchise. So, no stranger to horror, Kane has most recently served as co-showrunner and executive producer of It, Welcome to Derry, an anticipated It prequel series starring Bill Skarsgård, which expands on, of course, all the events in the films that we've recently had. They recently released that teaser and it looked really good, actually. So prior to that, he was also writer, executive producer on Tokyo Vice and Warrior as well. So Kane's also known for his work on shows like Moonhaven, Lodge 49, Black Sails, Fringe, Crash. He's a pretty in-demand guy. He also co-wrote Extinction and contributed to the story for Apple TV's The Banker. So, yeah, I mean, again, pretty in demand, to be honest. I don't think this is bad. I think this could be quite good. Remains to be seen. We'll have to see how it goes. What do you guys think? Good? Bad? I don't care about Friday the 13th prequel. What are you going to tell? Like, meh. It's not massively mysterious. I don't know. It doesn't get me going. It doesn't get my juices flowing. But what do you guys think? Let me know down below. Cheers. Take care. Bye-bye now.